through here now. This is that limestone reef system going down under, and you've got a sandstone cliff situation on the right-hand side here. It's quite literally the case. From one side of the road to the other, you're talking 100 million years difference in the age. So on your left with that limestone, you're talking 360 million years. The red sandstone coming through on the other side here, this is 260 million years. And Ronnie talks about it that it's always been talked about in his mob. Obviously they didn't know back in the day the different ages. They just knew that they were old hills, new hills. So when we get up here, we're coming up, we're rising up onto, we'll be on the edge of the desert up here. So this is the start of the Tanamite desert country up on top up here.
Basil's commentary after our walk in the Mimby Caves really gave us a sense of awe for the region. After our lunch break at Halls Creek, we soon turned onto the famous Spring Creek Road. Spring Creek Road, more accurately known as Spring Creek Track, is the rugged access route leading into Purnululu National Park, home of the iconic Bungle Bungle Range in Western Australia's Kimberley region. The track begins at the turnoff from the Great Northern Highway, about 250 kilometers southwest of Kununurra and 100 kilometers northeast of Halls Creek, and is approximately 53 kilometers from the Purnululu Visitor Center. The track is unsealed, narrow, and winding, with multiple creek crossings, sharp bends, and steep gradients for four-wheel drive vehicles only. Standard caravans and dual-axle trailers are not permitted.
Just coming into the ranger station now. The visitor centre's here also. We'll stop here on the way back out when we leave the park in a couple of days' time. Give you a chance to have a bit of retail therapy.
After a couple of hours on the track, we drive past the visitor center, but we're still not there yet.
End of the park where the Wilderness Lodge is.
Half an hour later, we arrive at our accommodation where we'll spend the next 2 nights. We were escorted to our tents by Anita, our guide, one of the members of the camp crew.
2 months ago, and then we had a lot of river crossings. I can show you everything is actually the same in the other tent as well.
No worries.
I always take my shoes off, but you can do whatever you want. This is the tent. Oh, luckily it wasn't in the tent. Did you see it?
These aren't tents. They're hotel rooms. Wow. We will enjoy our stay here.
Very swish.
The campsite was looking very nice in the evening sun. After a very restful night in our tents, we were on the road again early next morning. Basil gave us a quick talk on the landscape and its formation.
On the western side, it's 80% conglomerate, 20% sandstone. So it's a bit like a fruitcake mix over there. On this side, it's the absolute opposite. It's 80% sandstone, 20% conglomerate. And this is what's allowed those domes to form. Now you'll start to see that banding coming through too, like a beehive. And what's happened there is that the bands that are dark, it's actually a dark khaki green colour when it rains. These have got a slightly higher clay content than the layers above them, and this means that it holds just a little bit more moisture, and it actually allows an organism to live there on those domes. This is cyanobacteria, a very ancient organism.
Our first stop for the day was Elephant Rock. You get the idea. Despite its grandeur, the Bungle Bungle Range remained largely unknown to the outside world until 1982, when a documentary crew filmed the area, sparking national and international interest. In 1987, the region was officially declared Purnululu National Park, and in 2003, it was inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its outstanding natural beauty and cultural significance.
So this is Picaninny Car Park, so we'll park here shortly and then we'll do the walk. For anybody needing a bathroom before we start the walk, they are just up here on your left. You can see some corrugated iron small buildings down there. That is the bathrooms down there.
We soon depart on our morning hike. Our aim is to visit Cathedral Gorge and the Picaninny Lookout. Basil gives us a quick description of how the domes were formed.
So, as it came in, like if you watch a stream running through on flood, all your fine silts go through first and it leaves behind the heavier stuff behind. And that's exactly what happened here. As it came in on the western edge, which you'll see tomorrow when we go to Echidna Chasm, it's 80% conglomerate, 20% sandstone down there. So the absolute opposite to this side. But all those fine silts washed through. Over the years, it all washed in and it packed down like a huge cake being baked. By 220 million years ago, there was a huge layer of silt that came over the top of the whole thing and it packed it all down. By 20 million years ago, I know these time frames are quite boggling, but by 20 million years ago, this top layer had come off. And in geological terms, it allowed what was underneath to raise up. And as it came up, it cracked. And that's why we've got the domes here in these formations. A combination of that cracking, and we're sitting on the edge of the Tanami Desert, so it gets a lot of weather on this side of the structure. You've got wind, you've got rain coming in. And that's what, because of that 80% sandstone coming in, this is what you've ended up with. But as I say, tomorrow you'll get the really big picture when we go to Echidna. You'll see the complete difference to the two sides. What happened here is not unusual. If you've been to Central Australia, Uluru, Cathedral, exactly the same thing. There it was the Peterson Range, and they had two big holes in the ground there. Cathedral being where most of the conglomerates come into, Uluru where it's come down in, you got that fine. Uluru, as it came up, this is the difference here at Purnululu, it's come literally straight up. At Uluru, it tilted as it came up. So one end of the rock is quite a few million years older than the other end of the rock because of that tilting. But in very simplistic terms, that's what's happened and that's what you're looking at here.
We continue on our hike. Some of the group go straight to Cathedral Gorge, while the rest of us head towards the Picaninny Lookout. How remarkable and unique are these beehive-shaped domes? Comprising around 20% of the Bungle Bungle Range, these towering domes are up to 250 meters high. Around 350 million years ago, during the Devonian period, the area now known as the Bungle Bungle Range was part of a vast river system. Sediments, sand, pebbles, and silt were deposited into what's called the Red Basin, forming thick layers over time. These layers were compressed into sandstone and conglomerate rock, then uplifted by tectonic forces. Fault lines fractured the landscape, creating joints and weak zones that would later be sculpted by nature. Over millions of years, intense seasonal rains, scorching heat, and desert winds from the nearby Tanami Desert carved the landscape into the iconic beehive-shaped domes. Observe the striking orange and black banding on the domes. The dark bands are moisture-retaining layers that support cyanobacteria, formerly called blue-green algae, which protect the rock from erosion. The orange bands are drier layers where iron and manganese oxidize, giving the rock its rust-like hue. The range also features deep chasms and gorges formed by whirlpools and torrents during wet seasons. After visiting the Picaninny Lookout, we head back towards the car park and then on towards Cathedral Gorge to join up with the others in the group. The range spans 450 square kilometers and is best appreciated from the air, where the domes resemble ancient turrets or miniature pyramids rising from the semi-arid plains. Due to its fragile ecosystem, access is carefully managed. Visitors can explore designated trails like Picaninny Creek, Cathedral Gorge, and Echidna Chasm, but climbing the domes is prohibited to protect the cyanobacteria layers. Soon we arrive at the magnificent Cathedral Gorge. The Jija and Kija peoples are the traditional custodians of this land. Their connection to the Bungle Bungle spans over 40,000 years, with rich oral histories, sacred sites, and cultural practices rooted in the landscape. The name Purnululu, now used for the national park, comes from the Aboriginal language and reflects the deep spiritual significance of the area. Wow, that was an excellent way to spend a morning.